Okay. I heard. Yeah, Bill Johnson said he could barely get through from Cape Coral.
You want to sit with me so I look like I have friends?
Here or here?
Either way, well, that clerk's office I thought was supposed to have somebody, so I had an extra table set up for them. Like
I bring my tent.
see, and since I don't have my phone, you can't come back.
All right, we're going to get started.
Yes. I had one right there. I always put one out for you. Somebody has already Nancy, I'm Christine. You can email me about support. I just wanted to meet you in person. Thank you. Nice to see you. Did you find where I haven't seen you?
All right, we've got a great panel today. So let's get seated so we can make use of the time, optimize our time. I know. I should have brought it, man.
Nice to have you here. Thanks for meeting yourself.
Okay, let's take a seat and we'll get started. All right. Sí. Okay, let's get started. Let's call the meeting to order. We're recording today's session. Horizon Council General Membership Meeting. Today's May 17th, 2024, and we're here in beautiful Florida Southwestern State College. All right, well, why don't we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great. Thank you. And we'll see if, as everybody comes in, one of our first actions, and I'm going to see if I can hit all the marks so you guys can grade me, is approval of the minutes. Do we have a motion to? So moved. Second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay, great. Well, thank you. And we do have a fun panel to share some pretty great information with us on STEM. So let's get started a little bit with... Are we doing the introduction? Oh, introduction. See? Almost made it. Go ahead, Warren.
A for effort.
Good morning, Ray Sandelli, Lee County Commission, District 3.
Steve Hennigan, Lee County Port Authority.
Gerard Carrington, FGCU. Angel Gomez, representing Dr. Ken Savage, Superintendent of Schools.
Good morning, Sam Fisher, Chair of the Lee County School Board.
Good morning, everyone. Holly Smith, City of Sanibel, past Horizon Foundation Chair.
Good morning, Tom Hayden, Cape Coral City Council.
Matt Repsdorf, Horizon Council Secretary.
Karen Moore, Southwest Florida Business Today, and Chair of the Supplier Diversity Committee.
Good morning, Adam Palmer, LQ Commercial Sports Council.
Nailed it. Butch Swank, Insurance Affordability Task Force.
Good morning, Robbie Repsdorf, Edison National Bank, Bank of the Islands, and I represent the Industrial Development Authority.
Ryan Bill, I'm Bob Bevel's nephew.
Bob Bevel playing the part of Jackie Lysick from Fort Myers Beach Chamber today.
Good morning, Tom Mueller with Reworld, formerly Covanta. We're the ones that turn all your trash into energy every day.
Good morning, Mark Plus, Public Restaurant Group, representing Sanibel Captiva Chamber of Commerce.
Robert Goulds, President and CEO of the Greater Fort Myers Chamber of Commerce.
Good morning, Tom Houlihan, representing the Industrial Development Authority.
Good morning, everyone. Molly Scott with Crystal Construction, representing Associated Builders and Contractors.
Good morning, Dusty Shelton, Cape Coral
Council for Progress.
Good morning. Mike Biskey with B&I Contractors representing CareerSource Southwest Florida.
Good morning, Jay Johnson, Bubba's Roadhouse, representing the Florida Restaurant and Lodging Association.
Megan Baskin, representing Leadership Next.
Good morning, Richard Dorling with Marvin Homes, representing the Lee Building Industry Association.
Julia Ramirez, Lee County Medical Society.
Good morning, Lori Moore with Rutzel and Andrus Law Firm, representing the Real Estate Investment Society.
Good morning, Eileen Buchanan, SCORE, Southwest Florida.
Good morning, Rob Harris, Executive Director of the Southwest Regional Manufacturers Association.
And good morning, Ron Willebney, representing the Southwest Florida District of the CCIM Institute.
Good morning, Tony Loppe with the Sanibel Captiva Beach Resorts, representing the Tourist Development Council.
Good morning, Angela Fisher, Member at Large, representing Junior Achievement of Southwest Florida.
Good morning, Gary Griffin, B&I Contractors, Member at Large.
Good morning, Joseph Janasha, Gulf Coast Business Bank, Member at Large.
Christine Sardina, Executive Director, Tri-County Apprenticeship Academy, Member at Large.
Ben Siegel, Aviation Connections, Member at Large, and I don't know whose idea it was to put Chris Spiro and Ben Siegel next to each other, two Cape Coral High School graduates, but that's dangerous.
Yeah, we'll change that the next time around, Ben. No worries.
Make a note. Good morning, Chris Spiro, Spiro and Associates, and I have no responsibilities here today, so.
Good morning, Denise Vidal with LCEC, Member at Large.
Good morning, Mark Weber, Minnesota Twins, Member at Large.
Good morning, Jen White, Fort Myers Brewing, Member at Large.
Good morning, Matthew Zwak, Owen Ames Kimball, Member at Large.
Great. Then we have a couple people that just came in, right? Okay. Helen?
Good morning. Sorry I'm late. Gary Tasman, Cushman Wakefield, Commercial Property, Southwest Florida.
And Helen as well? Yep. Sorry, Helen.
Helen Edenfield, Vice Chair, Horizon Council.
Ben Spence, Treasurer, Horizon Council.
Donna Germain, Chamber of Commerce of Cape Coral, and also the Southwest Florida Alliance of Chambers.
Anything else did I miss? Okay. We're not going to do staff today. You're not? Okay. All right. Great. Well, thank you so much. And we know the bridge was a little rough coming over from Cape Coral, so thank you all who were able to make it through. All right. Chairman's report. First off, how many of you went to the business continuity planning workshop? Raise of hands. All right. I mean, you know, my company does different kinds of workshops and training around the world for different companies. This was a world-class structured workshop. The level of insight from each of the subject matter experts, the way it was constructed. Yeah, I'd say my only minor, that's a major concern, is we've got 34,000 businesses out there in Lee County, and we just have, you know, a small subset that, of course, we're able to hear. But if Gary Tasman and the committee could please stand to be recognized for this, sincerely, thank you. Yeah, and Gary's going to report out in one of our next meetings to discuss what the future looks like for this kind of a workshop. So thank you so much, Gary. We always, in part of our strategic plan is internal and external communications, right? So just as a quick update, I'm going to be on Wink, so you could set your alarm clock for 6:30 a.m. on a Sunday, and but of course you could record it and all that kind of stuff. But really, Lee Pitts asked questions. All right, what is the Horizon Council? What does the Horizon Council do, and what are we involved in? So from a community perspective, we're getting out there. And then this past week, we hosted the Hispanic Leadership Forum. And it was interesting. We had about 40 leaders from different parts of the county. And we talked about anything from K-12 education, higher ed, into the workforce. And really, when now we all generally understand that workforce pipeline is the same as the education pipeline. And now with 50% of the K-12 students being Latino, that's an important segment, and about 30% of the higher ed students are Latino. So does that community feel ready enough to make sure that that population is ready to enter the workforce? So it was a very good discussion. We rescheduled the Horizon Day at the stadium at Lee Health Sports Complex, so it's June 27th, and it's going to be a pretty important day. We're gonna have a good celebration there, so I highly encourage you to attend. Please RSVP. And with that, we've got our foundation report from our executive director, Bill Johnson. And just so we all know, how many of you had relatives that graduated high school or college this time around? Okay, great. Bill's daughter graduated last night from Oasis High School, Anna Johnson. So Bill, take it over.
Thank you, Dr. Minaya. Yes, it was a proud moment. My oldest did graduate from high school. I still got one more left to go. I will keep my report brief because I know we have a great topic and program for today. Everything is going great at the foundation. Just to keep you updated, we are currently on point to reach our set goal at the 575. Our investments have been coming in steadily. I'm in the process of reaching out to all of our current investors and working through all of those. One of the things that I will notice with and to highlight is where you truly see your investment dollar goes. You all have copies, and a lot of you have the Florida Trend article on your chair seats right there. One of the things that we did partnering with the EDO is we did put out an article in the May edition of Florida Trend that highlighted Lee County. And the great thing about this article is it did not only highlight economic development, but it also highlighted our county as a whole: healthcare, tourism, travel, you name it, real estate. It showed everyone what a great place Lee County was to live. And the awesome thing about that was it went through Florida Trend's network of subscribers throughout the state as well as the country and the world. So we at the foundation, we're happy to be a partner with our EDO along with our Horizon Council representatives to cover all the costs of that article to do. And one of the other things Dr. Minaya already talked about is, if you haven't already, our June 27th makeup game, because we did lose that to rain. So please make sure you reserve your ticket with Amanda or Tatum in our Economic Development Office. And you're mouthing something, Tatum. Tell me. Oh, that's right. We just inked our first President's Circle event that's going to be coming up in June at Herc Reynolds, the 20th, right? Thank you, Tatum. See, that's why teamwork makes the dream work, everybody. And we will be getting the Save the Day out on that event, but it's just some of the things today. Thank you. You want to come up and just finish for me? It's fantastic. But no, we do appreciate all of you, and we look forward to seeing you at those upcoming events. And I will turn it back over to you, Dr. Minaya.
Thank you, Bill. And now for the best report of the day from Commissioner Sandelli. He didn't send us the note that it's beach attire day today, so next time.
I'm actually heading down to Fort Myers Beach right after this. The whale is groundbreaking, so on and so forth. And if you know Mike and Dawn, one of the great lines down there is, as they're standing in the rubble after their restaurant got destroyed, somebody drove by and said, "You guys open?" And Mike says, "A little paint and carpet, we'll be fine." But, the second best thing that I heard was, Jen's here today. I've heard great excuses, but I can't go back to work. Jen puts posts on Facebook, "I can't take off from the islands. There's a hole in the runway." And I thought, that's a new one, and stuff like that. I said, well, at least it's not a hole in the boat. So Jen, welcome back, and something like this. So a couple of things. Well, we've got the seasons are upon us. Election, it's an election year. The programs are growing in intensity, and we've got the midterms in June and the general election. This is extremely important. So I would encourage everybody and your friends, do the homework, and vote. It's a thing that we have that a lot of countries don't have and stuff like that. So it's very important. So again, don't take it for granted. I know you don't, especially this group here. Hurricane season is fast approaching, which seems like we're in this cycle and everything. So I want to thank Gary and the team. We had a great session last week, And it really makes you go back and think about where we've been, where we are today, how do we anticipate, and how do we prepare so that we are anticipating versus reacting, because it's been a challenging year for all of us. So Gary and the team, thank you very much. It was very well done. One thing we don't think about, but we did the rain dance the other day. We had a lot of brush fires, and so for our fire people and so on and so forth, they're out there, beating the bushes, no pun intended, but always worry about them and their safety. Question I always get, as many as you, it's been 1 year and 7 months, when we getting back to normal? We've done a lot. We're still in the infancy in a lot of ways, but we had a successful season, this past year. Obviously, people are staying longer, and that helps us on the economy overall. Our Tier 1 infrastructure pieces we've got $1.9 billion in play right now. 7 of those projects are under construction. The balance always is new work and maintaining the structure that we have. And that's not easy today with the costs, as you all know, of asphalt and concrete and so on and so forth. So it's a real challenge. The beach replacement is going on as we speak. So the beaches are coming back very strong, and that's always good to see. Businesses are reopening. We finally got gas back on the island. CVS Publix is open, back there. They've been for a while, going down to the Whale today. John and his team, when I sit down with John, I get lost because he's got so much going on in the team. It's pretty amazing. Our airport, and I'm sitting next to the boss here, Steve, we had a Port Authority meeting yesterday. The numbers are incredible. We're coming back very strong, and again, more people coming and more people spending more time. Just a couple other notes. We put $16.6 million into a beautiful park up in Lehigh, expanded the fields, did some lighting up there, concessions, and so on and so forth. A very important part of our overall community, and it was good to see Lehigh get that kind of attention. Graduations were just mentioned here just shortly. A lot of schools graduating, a lot of young people coming out, and I think our intent is to keep as many of those young people here as we can. And so for the business community, please stay close to that. But I also wanted to mention that please encourage some of these young people to look at the public sector. I go through our list sometimes for the county, and there's some great opportunities there for young people and a variety of different things. So don't dismiss that, whether it's EMTs, public safety, planning, zoning, whatever it may be, look at that list. There's some great opportunities there. Another source of great human capital and intellect is our veterans. We just reinstituted the Veterans Advisory Committee. I moved that forward. And so we're trying to hook up our veterans with what the needs of them and their families are. And being a veteran myself, great sense of dedication and responsibility. So don't forget that sector. It's very important to us. Lee Cares program, home rehab and purchasing, that window is closed. We had over 1,200 applicants. Just the fact that it's closed, things change. So if there's something there you want to discuss, we're happy to talk to you and happy to see if there's something else we can do. The Governor's Hurricane Conference, Lee County was awarded the 2024 Award for Innovation and Education Programs as, again, we're ready for the next hurricane season. Workforce and available housing is still, to me, the thing that bothers me the most in trying to figure that problem out, and I've been in real estate for a long time. There's some creative options out there. It's moving those along and see what works. And with FEMA, obviously a hot topic. We continue to work with them and resolve the unexpected issues that came up relative to National Flood Insurance Program. We hope to get that 25% discount back. And thank everybody for the work that they've done in trying to resolve that. That's it. See you at the beach.
Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, John's not able to be here with us today, and we will move on to our nonprofit minute. Catherine Callis is going to be here to share about the public utilities and Lee County Solid Waste Management. Is Catherine here? Yes, she is. All right.
Hi, good morning.
My name is Catherine. I'm with Lee County Solid Waste Division. So we are the department that handles everything that's generated in the county. All of your garbage, recycling, yard waste, hurricane debris, construction debris, anything like that. And part of that responsibility includes a yearly report that we send to the state DEP that tells how many tons of all of that material is recycled or diverted from landfilling every year. So what I would like to ask everyone here is if your business is doing any recycling that's not just regular commingled recycling or a cardboard container set up with the hauling company, if you do anything that's source separated, metal recycling, concrete recycling, if you bale your cardboard and transport it to a hub for recycling, those are tons that we could add to our yearly report that helps with our ranking for recycling in the state. Lee County does a very good job. We're normally one of the top 5 recyclers out of the 67 counties every year. We have been for more than 10 years, and a lot of times we're number 1, so great job, everybody. But we have to gather... We gather those tons anyway, so if you do any of this recycling that I'm mentioning, if you send us a short email to our recycling coordinator, the email would be kjohnson2@legov.com, just a short sentence that says, my business recycles this many tons. You can say tons, pounds, cubic yards, anything, we will convert it. My business recycles this many tons between January and December, and that's it. We do the rest. So thank you for your help. Thank you.
Okay. And thank you so much. Our last general membership meeting, we had such a meaty topic, and we also had a lot of business to take care of in advance. So I think we're tracking well. So I'd like to turn it over to the program manager for this panel and STEM to Career Task Force, Shelby Baucom.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I am grateful for the opportunity. We had so many amazing meetings this year between the first meeting of the Horizon Council General Membership Cycle that shared how FGCU and FSW created micro-credentialing and certification programs by talking with you all, by talking with local businesses about jobs that currently needed to be filled. The segue then into the AI and healthcare presentation was fantastic, looking at everything from all of our shared panic initially that AI was going to take everybody's jobs to, okay, now we can breathe easy. We're going to embrace AI and use it to make everyone's jobs easier and more efficient. Now we're going to go ahead and continue that story and talk about how we can and how we already are preparing students for the many jobs that don't yet exist in this rapidly changing economic landscape and educational landscape as well. So I have some amazing people who stepped up to join me because we had a serendipitous cancellation at the last minute, and all of these folks joined in with a week's notice, some of you less than a week. And we were able to pull together a fantastic panel for you all, including students that, as you know, many are in the midst of graduating, taking finals, exams, and all of the end-of-year chaos. So I'm going to pass it along to our moderator, Heather Skaza-Acosta. Dr. Skaza-Acosta is the director for the Whitaker Center for STEM Education, and they're out of FGCU, do amazing work in education and outreach throughout not just the county, but the entire Southwest Florida region, serving their faculty and students and support of their research and scholarships, but also the K-12 sector, the teachers and students in the K-12 setting and the public as well. So I'm going to pass it on to you.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm so excited to have the opportunity to speak this morning and to introduce our amazing panelists. As Shelby said, I'm the director of the Whitaker Center for STEM Education at FGCU. I hope what we can do is provide some connective tissue between the school districts and the public and our on-campus folks as well. And this is a very timely conversation, I think, not because we haven't been talking about STEM for a while, because we have, or not because it's more or less important now, because it's not. It's always been really important. But I know that I personally have had about 3 or 4 conversations just within the last couple of weeks with folks in the business community, with our community partners that are expressing concern over our students' ability to problem solve, to critically think, to collaborate with their peers, those kinds of things that really make it meaningful for them as they move into the workplace. The K-12 system is, such a challenging environment. Our teachers are the most wonderful, hardworking, passionate people that I've ever had the pleasure of working with. They have a lot on their plates, and it's always changing, right? And so they need strong partnership in being able to support students with some of those skills. And that's where we come in, right? So I hope that we can demonstrate today a few things, which is, the impact that programs outside of school time and in school time can have on our students, how our business and community leaders can contribute to that, and how they benefit from it as well. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how we do that at FGCU, just a couple of programs from the Whitaker Center, and then I'll pass it off to our students in just a minute. And when that time comes, I'll introduce everybody just before they speak, so they're really fresh in your mind. At the Whitaker Center, we have this vision of everyone having amazing access to STEM education opportunities. And we say K through 20, right? So we think about the K through 12 and the college community, but really we mean K through public, right? The Conservancy where I used to work has this really fun phrase. They call it K to gray education, and that's kind of what we, that's how we kind of think about it too. And so, we do that through a couple of lenses. I really think about developing communities of practice. As a person that works at a university, I feel like I'm not doing my job unless I include a reference somewhere in my slide deck. So there it is. There it is. Okay. But really thinking about how everyone in the community has a role to play in this programming, in supporting students. It could be a big one, it could be a small one. It's an ecosystem, right, of support, and hopefully everyone feels important in that system. We really look at expanding access to STEM education opportunities, and that's a lot of what we want to talk about today. And we look at STEM as a problem solver, and the Whitaker Center really serves the Southwest Florida community, so we're looking at the big problems in Southwest Florida and thinking about how we can support that in a big way. So just a couple of example programs, and then I'm going to toss it over. But right now we have a couple of programs that I think are really interesting. One is supported by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, or NOAA, and it's a really place-based, Southwest Florida-focused program for climate education, and it's very hands-on. The students are doing the investigating. The students are doing the work. We do that, though, by training teachers in Lee County schools, and we focus specifically on our teachers working in Title I schools. So we have cohorts of teachers that have gone through this programming, and what's lovely about it is we just hosted our first environmental action symposium, and students had the chance to compete with their ideas for how they were going to develop sustainable plans at their school, and the top schools won prize money, but really grants to get their programs going. So we look forward to seeing how those will advance next year. The next one that I would talk about, and I'm mentioning both of these because they are with Lee County Schools, is the Farm to School program. We are expanding this program. Our schools now have hydroponic systems where they're growing greens that are then get delivered into their cafeterias. And our FGCU students are going out and working as ambassadors to support teachers, to support students, so that it doesn't all have to be on one teacher's shoulders. That if that teacher has to go somewhere else or is burdened in a different way, that program can still keep going, right? So those are just two that I'll mention. We're going to hear about a lot more wonderful programming, but I just wanted to throw that up there. If you are a social media person, please join with us, and you'll learn about all the fun stuff that we're doing, and hopefully we'll get you to campus sometime as well. So let's start with the most important members of our panel first, our students. So we're going to start with Dhruva Sharma. I'll give Dhruva a little introduction, and it's pretty impressive. So Dhruva is a junior attending Fort Myers High School. He's part of the IB program and participates in a variety of STEM-related extracurriculars, and he'll talk about those more himself. Most notably, he is the team captain and programming captain of a world champion FIRST robotics team, Java the Hutts. Earlier this year, he was selected as National STEM Champion and was one of 3 students representing Florida at the National STEM Festival in Washington, D.C. in April. In 2023, he won the Congressional App Challenge for FL19 District and got introduced to Congressman Byron Donalds, which kickstarted his STEM advocacy journey. He's also an active participant in Inventors Fair and Science Fair, which is how I first met him, and his mom. And he's been to nationals for Inventors Fair every year since 7th grade, winning top awards and going all the way to ISEF, that's the International Science and Engineering Fair, and he serves on the Edison Fair Student Advisory Board. He's a top student at Fort Myers High School, holding a 5.7 GPA. I didn't even know this was possible. At the end of his junior year, he participates in several clubs and competitions through school, and I'll let him talk more about that. Dhruva?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Dhruva. I'm a junior at Fort Myers High School, so go Green Wave. I feel honored to be here sharing my STEM journey and how much STEM has impacted my life to shape me up to be the person that I am today. So just really quickly, over the course of middle school and high school, I've had the opportunity to participate in a multitude of STEM activities, whether it be through school or just community-based programs, and I'm going to share some of those with you today this morning. Next slide, please. So this program that has redefined my trajectory is FIRST Robotics. Many of you saw the robot out in the front, and if you didn't, I encourage you to come look at it after the presentation. But it started in 7th grade at Dunbar Middle School. I was involved in something called FLL, which is Lego Robotics, and then the year after that, we transitioned to something called FTC, which stands for First Tech Challenge. We build an 18 by 18 robot, which our robot for this season is out front. And all 4 of those robots that you see on the screen, or all 3, I programmed. And in the top right-hand corner, that picture is us entering the stage at the World Championship. And little did we know at that time, we'd go on to win the entire championship. All of the skills that we learned through FTC are self-taught. The programming skills, the technical skills, and Delaney will talk a lot about the soft skills. But the technical skills that we learn are very, very, very useful if we want to go into the workforce. Everyone that's graduating from this team this year has gained so much that's going to assist them in either choosing to go into the workforce or pursuing a major in college. Next slide, please. I've also taken part in Science Fair and Inventors Fair, as mentioned, and I've been to nationals every year since 7th grade. It's a very rewarding experience, putting together a project, doing research, and developing an invention as well. It's all of the technical skills you could ask for that the programs like this, Dr. Nelson, who's here today, has supported, and it's very beneficial. And I've also taken part in the Congressional App Challenge, which was facilitated by Congressman Byron Donalds for the Florida District 19, and that's when I first met him and got introduced to STEM advocacy. So we've been to the local, state, and national level for advocacy, where we meet with the congressmen and lawmakers to advocate for greater STEM funding for programs like the ones that we participate in. Next slide, please. And so on the bottom left-hand side, that's our robotics team at the Florida State Capitol. And on the top right, that's pictures at the U.S. Capitol, meeting with congressmen and lawmakers. And we actually met with the former superintendent of the Lee County School District to push programs like robotics to more schools in the county. And in 2023, along with a couple other students who graduated from this team, we participated in the FGCU Solar Car Race, where we built a car from scratch, a go-kart from scratch that's powered entirely by solar. And we drove it around the FGCU track a couple times, and the fastest car won. We got second place, so we're going back trying to win first place this year. And then through school, a couple activities that I've participated in, mainly clubs, are HOSA, which is a medical program, and then DECA, which is more business and entrepreneurial. And then Science Olympiad is like just simple science tasks and competitions, and it's a team-based program. But the main thing that I've taken from it is the technical skills from HOSA and DECA. And then I'd like to conclude by saying that STEM programs help develop well-rounded students that you see here on this panel today. We don't just learn the hard skills, but very important soft skills like being able to speak in front of you all today. And if students who participate in these programs choose to enter the workforce straight out of high school, they're very well prepared to do so. The most important reason to support STEM programs like this is laying a strong foundation for the future workforce and for the future jobs that don't currently exist today. Many of the programs I've participated in have introduced me to AI, and from what I can tell, AI is the way of the future. And it's going to be creating multiple jobs that don't exist or we couldn't even think of today. My gratitude goes to everyone who's supported my journey, Mr. Keene, Dr. Nelson, obviously my parents have played a huge role in all of that. And thank you. I'm happy to take questions at the end.
Thank you, Jiva. And I will say the Whitaker Center plans and executes Sunchase, the solar go-kart race, with our College of Engineering. And so we get to see their passion and their stunning expertise every year in person. It's phenomenal. Next, we will hear from Delaney Bockham. Delaney is a sophomore at SFW Collegiate High School. She's participated in FIRST robotics programs for 6 years. She currently serves as an outreach lead for Java the Hutts, a community FIRST Tech Challenge robotics team. She began on the Edison and Ford Winter Estates first LEGO League team, Assembly Required. She has helped each of these teams qualify for the first World Championship held in Houston, Texas, and has helped them win awards for the last 3 consecutive seasons. She's also represented Southwest Florida as a member of the Student Association for STEM Advocacy, participated in STEM Day at the Capitol in Tallahassee. She served as a member of the School District of Lee County Student Advisory Committee and has attended the Youth in Government State Assembly. And I'll let Delaney talk more about her experience.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. So while Dhruva focused on his STEM journey and all of the various STEM programs available to young people, in recognition of the time constraints that we have, I will be focusing more on one program and its comprehensive way of encouraging and fostering and developing soft and hard skills in its young participants. So from a young age, I was interested in creative endeavors, specifically those regarding problem solving. Through FLL, I was introduced to coding and mechanical engineering in the form of our robot design process. I quickly realized that I enjoyed the innovation project aspect more, which is a part of FLL that is similar to Science and Inventors Fair, and that the goal is to find a solution to a real-world issue. When I inevitably aged out of FLL, I carried my passion for soft skills into FTC, earning the position of outreach lead on Java the Hutts. Dhruva just shared many of the STEM programs available to young people. However, I'll be focusing on this comprehensive program first. Now, FIRST stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. FIRST purpose is to prepare young people for the world of tomorrow, essentially the jobs that don't yet exist, the technology yet to come, and the rapidly changing economy. Now, founder of FIRST, Dean Kamen, next slide, please. The founder of FIRST, Dean Kamen, saw the need to recognize young people in the same way that who excel in the field of STEM in the same way that athletes are recognized, in creating a fun and engaging environment for kids that celebrates their passion and their accomplishments. Next slide. No matter the level, FIRST creates a fun and encouraging environment that serves as an opportunity for students who, as young as 4 years old, to not only foster their passion for STEM, but most importantly, to acquire skills that directly benefit them in careers and later education. Next slide. Interest is a greater indicator than academic performance, involving students in driving students to pursue STEM careers, and FIRST participants are far more likely to do so. FIRST LEGO League and its exciting and accessible foundation, Legos, provides an outlet for students who are interested in STEM to do what they love through a familiar item that they love. Now, engaging these students at next slide. Engaging these students at a young age also helps in eliminating the exclusion of girls and young women in STEM programs, as girls and young women are far more likely to not stay engaged in STEM if they are not engaged before the age of middle school. This lasting impact expresses itself in the 2 to 3 times more likelihood to pursue and achieve majors in engineering and computer science, a phenomenon that we've seen in many, many STEM students regardless of gender. Next slide, please. At higher levels, teams like ours are heavily encouraged to take interest in STEM and put it into efforts such as community outreaches. Through these outreaches, we seek to inspire and educate those around us, thus extending these opportunities. Our efforts, which range from community and mentorship to technical and advocacy, develop soft skills like public speaking and presentation design, which are critical in the workplace. These outreaches also allow us to both as a team and as individuals, meet with STEM organizations and businesses and connect with technology and engineering mentors. One particular thing our team has observed in FIRST is its definitive ability to uplift and inspire the community around us. If any of you managed to catch the NBC2 Story to Share, we were involved in helping an individual with ALS, which is a degenerative neuromuscular condition that has caused Ken, the individual we're assisting, to lose all motor function in his arms. Upon our very last visit, we managed to use our device that we designed to help Ken hug his wife for the first time in over a year. So I think that really just encompasses FIRST as a program and the ethos and core values involved in this. But really, the core takeaway that I've noticed is that truly the skills that you gain from the program are the most important, as they will go on to assist you not only in my education going on, so my junior and senior year, but in the university I plan to attend for likely journalism and any real career that in STEM that one decides to pursue. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Delaney. So now we want to hear a little bit from our business community partners and programs that they develop and are benefiting from with these students participating in the programs they are. So first, Wendy Fowler is the Director of Account Management for Hotwire Communications. Wendy is an accomplished entrepreneur and a leader in advanced technologies. She was the founder and CEO of the Client Server, a business-to-business technology consulting firm in Bonita Springs, for 24 years. She sold the company in 2019 to another Southwest Florida IT firm, and shortly after that joined Hotwire Communications to lead beside a dynamic team of customer-centric account managers. She has a reputation for continuous quality improvement, impeccable customer service, and dedication to our Southwest Florida community. Wendy.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm here representing all of you from the industry. I work for Hotwire Communications, and so I wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of what Hotwire Communications are. We're not the Hotwire.com travel agency. We bring high-speed fiber internet into different areas. We're based in Fort Lauderdale. And we are the largest privately held communication services and community living provider for fiber bulk services with TV, phone, and internet. We are a female-owned company. It was started in 2002 by Kristen Johnson. And we have the largest footprint for Hotwire in Southwest Florida. We're in about 350 communities here. And basically, we're a strong company nationwide, but also through the statewide, but also through the United States. We employ over 1,400 people in the state of Florida, of which 235 work, live, and raise their families here in Lee and Collier County. And we're growing daily. So what does STEM mean to us? We invest in STEM because we know that it does fostering of critical thinking, problem-solving skills, adapting to change, entrepreneurship opportunities, lifelong learning mindsets. It builds confidence, teamwork and collaboration, and leadership skills. And it should be to no surprise that on every single Hotwire job description, those are the qualifications above the job. So we really believe in the STEM programs and support it here. Why get involved with the STEM programs? Why should your business invest? It's investing in our future workforce. Hotwire believe that. And it also closes the skills gap. I have the privilege of sitting on the STEM to Career Task Force, and we have a gap here. And if we can help build those skills at a young age, starting in middle school, we can have those students come to be in the workforce here. STEM programs also create inclusion. Everybody can be part of a STEM program. You don't have to be athletic. You don't have to be a brainiac. You don't have to, be of a certain race, color, shape, form. You can be in a STEM program. For the short term as a business, it gives you enhanced brand visibility. You can sponsor an event and you get your name on the back of a t-shirt, but that's really for the short term. It's the long-term goal and the return on investment for your business. We have a huge social and economic impact by investing in STEM. And especially women in STEM, as Delaney had just referred to, Hotwire has put in initiatives. We have 40% of our workforce throughout the United States is female, but we have a goal in 2025, and that is to have 30% of our engineering team be female. So we do a lot of STEM programs throughout the state of Florida to build that. I wear two hats here today. Usually I sit on that side of the table. I am with the Southwest Florida Technology Partnership, or Southwest Florida Tech as well. And our focus is where we champion the growth of Southwest Florida at the tech sector. We're the connector for the industry to the technologies in Southwest Florida. And in 3 words, I could sum it up, is we inspire, we innovate, and we inform. So we are a nonprofit host sponsor of the STEM program in Southwest Florida, and proud to say that we were the sponsor for Java the Hutt that just went to the World Championship. So it was an exciting time. We encourage local businesses to invest in our future generations, and this is a great way to do it. So to really close, I wanted to share a story with you that is a true story that happened that with the Southwest Florida Technology Partnership. In 2016, I had my business. I had an employee that was a tech, and he came to me one day and he said, my daughter goes to school in Cape Coral, and they have a STEM program, and they're looking for sponsors and investors. Would your company invest? So we did, and so did the Southwest Florida Technology Partnership. His daughter's name was Autumn, and over the years I have stayed in contact with Autumn. In 2020, during COVID, the Southwest Florida Technology Partnership had their award ceremony, and Autumn was awarded the Student of the Year in Tech scholarship. And along with that went a scholarship fund. She was taking flying lessons at that time, and so it helped her with her flying lessons. As I say, I've stayed in contact with her. She's grown in the STEM programs. She's also very big in the Girl Scout programs that also carry STEM now. In 2022, Autumn was awarded the Congressional Medal for Character and Development for volunteering in the STEM and the Girl Scouts. Now she is going to Rice University, where she is studying mechanical engineering and astrophysics and aerospace. And when I recently talked to her, she said she was testing rocket propulsion systems. This is one of our own students in this area. You know, whether she comes back or not, I think the sky's the limit, and I think the sky's the limit for these two sitting next to me. So, thank you.
The literal rocket scientist. So next, let's hear from Sarah Marmion. Sarah oversees education and outreach for Florida Power and Light. The primary focus on behalf of the company is to prepare the next generation of leaders by offering STEM education opportunities for K through 12 students and their teachers. Those students attending career and technical schools and four-year colleges. A firm believer that knowledge is power, Sarah also understands that a traditional four-year degree isn't the only path to success. As a member of the Florida Chamber's inaugural Future of Work Advisory Committee, Sarah is actively engaged in efforts to ensure FPL and the state have a trained and ready workforce to support the state's tremendous growth predictions. Key initiatives include supporting both robotics clubs and competitions and overseeing the addition of drones and underwater bots to the programs FPL helps start and fund. In addition, she's committed to ensuring Florida's teachers feel supported, and she's a big proponent of teachers, mentoring teachers, and professional development opportunities for them.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. I'm really, really happy to be here today. Before I jump into what FPL does education-wise, I just wanted to give some framework in terms of where our company fits within our overall company. So we're part of NextEra, and I just wanted, there's a slide that shows that, sorry. There we go, yes. So we're part of NextEra, our parent company, and so in Florida, it's FPL. Outside of FPL, it's the NextEra resources. We are in most of the U.S. and Canada in solar, wind, transmission. We very, very big in renewables. And then in FPL, we serve about 60% of the state, including Lee County. In terms of my goals for today's conversation, just wanted to talk a little bit about the state of education in Florida. Thanks to the Florida Chamber Advisory Committee that I sit on, it's been a real eye-opener for me personally, and then professionally, I'm so it's very opportune for me to take what I learned from the Chamber and the needs of our state in terms of everyone that's moving here today, what we need to do to prepare students to meet our needs. In terms of the education of Florida, you can kind of just read the bullets there, but we're, as I said, the fastest growing state. I understand Lee County is the fastest growing county. I know that there's going to be a lot of challenges in terms of just making sure that we have people to take care of us as we age, people to fix our HVAC systems, people to build our buildings, lay our fiber, and be able to problem solve. So if you're interested in what the Florida Chamber, our business community is thinking in terms of the future, I would recommend that you visit their site. And they have a 230 blueprint that's really helpful in terms of identifying where the extreme needs are. And one of the biggest needs, and this is why we got into the Drones in School program, is within aerospace and aviation. So we're really focusing in that area now at FPL. And we're involved, FPL is involved because we need people to come work for us, like these two young, brilliant students. And we understand that STEM is it. I mean, literacy is really important. If you're not on third grade reading level, by third grade, the chances of you being successful financially, are impacted every day that passes. So we are supporting literacy, but the majority of our focus and our resources is on STEM. So, absolutely, FIRST Robotics. In fact, we also supported the team to go to nationals this year. And what we do is FPL for any middle or high school, and also through First Lego team that wants to purchase kits and get involved. We have a sponsorship program. You just have to apply. We pay for the supplies. And then we also sponsor teams to go to the regionals and to the nationals. And we, for the first year, this year, we sponsored the state championship for First Lego, which happened to be in our home county of Palm Beach County. And we've sponsored the FRC competition for South Florida for, at least the last 15 years. So we understand the impact that FIRST has on students, and we very much believe in it. The next slide is a young man who has worked for a company for about 5 years, and he's just going to talk a little bit about the impact of FIRST on him. Videos are always tricky. That's okay. You know what? It's all right. You know what we're doing? We're identifying STEM stars at FPL, and generally younger folks like Stephen, who that might work. Let's see. There we go. Thank you. He's one of 10 STEM stars that we're working with, that we're doing video shorts that we're going to use in presentations like this to just show how STEM has positively impacted their careers, and we want them to be relatable to, we have a lot of women, we have diverse folks, and this, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't want to take too much time, but Stephen was in a high school as a freshman, and the teacher came in and said, "Hey, who wants to get involved in robotics? Who wants to build robots?" And he raised his hand, and he said yes, and then he was off to the races. So he was on a very successful team. They went to nationals, and then he became a mentor. And now I go to all the FIRST events in Florida that I can. He's there all the time with his teams. He's a mentor, and he's a really, really smart engineer who not only is, an engineer, but he knows how to problem solve and how to work with a team, which is really important. So those soft skills are important. I mentioned drones. FPL has a division called FPL Air, and actually we used drones here post-Ian big time. In fact, our drones were some of the first, they provide the first visuals after the hurricane to help everyone plan on figuring out what to do first in terms of how to save people, open up roads and whatnot. We launch drones every day throughout our territory. And so we like it because it's, we like drones in schools because basically what we do is we go to the districts and we say, hey, we want to build this in your community. It's just like FIRST Robotics, but it's a robot in the air. And how can we help you do it? So we're talking to districts all the time about getting drones in schools and teaching the students how to fly them. We're also going to go the next step now, and we're looking to get these kids certified in their 107 pilots, and then we want to do a feeder program to the airports. There's a high school in Miami called Baker Aviation that's right across the street from the Miami International Airport. The principal there is good friends with us, and he basically says if this high school could, triple in size, we would be able to place every one of those students with a job across the street. We need people to fix the engines, load the baggage, fly the planes, whatnot. It is the biggest, fastest growing need right now in Florida. So we're happy to support that. Sea Perch, same thing. It's robots in the water, and our hopes to expand to from the gamer boy kind of focus that a lot of the robotics programs seems to meet. We really want to pull in more females. We want to make it more approachable, and I don't know. There's just something about standing around a swimming pool with a device in your hand and doing, and having a competition in the pool. So we're big in that now too. Electrathon America just kicked off last year. It's an EV car kit. It's about $10,000, and our development team at FPL, obviously we're interested in electric vehicles for obvious reasons, and we're trying to just educate people about how they work. So we placed car kits at 10 schools, and we're going to place at least 10 more, including in Lee County. We are working with the school, Dunbar High School, and they I think, are going to go ahead and sign on. And so they have to build it, they have to race it, and it's not like a fast race. It's like how many times can the electric battery last around the loop. So it's not dangerous. But anyway, so we're very excited about this program. And we do grants, as I mentioned. We also are, in addition to students, we support our teachers, and teachers who are really good STEM teachers apply for grants so that they can teach other teachers how to teach STEM. And a lot of teachers in elementary don't have any science or math experience. We need so many teachers. We will, some of the requirements aren't as strict as they used to be, which is good, bad, and different. The fact is that there's a need. And so what we're trying to do is get the really good STEM teachers to teach and mentor the teachers who might not have that much experience, because it can be very intimidating. If I had to teach math, I don't think I could do it. So, and I mentioned the STEM Stars. We are definitely featuring our employees more and more. So more to come on that front. Stephen is just one of several that we're really excited about. Classroom makeovers through the Next Era Energy Foundation. We allocate 5 $50,000 classroom makeover grants every year in our service territory. And I encourage the district to apply. We look to go to schools that really need technology. They need a refresh. So it's a big commitment. We're in our 4th year of doing that. We have scholarships as well, so take note, students. We do have scholarships, and I encourage you to apply at fpl.com/education. And that's it. Thank you.
Great. Why don't we open it up for questions? See if there's any questions from the audience. Good. Well, we have one in the back, and then Holly. Good. Sir. Yes.
And/or Delaney. Thank you. Question for Dhruva and/or Delaney. You guys are doing it. You're hands-on, and you're at the bleeding edge of the innovations that are happening. And some of the things that you rolled out in your presentations seem really exciting from a practical implementation point of view. Could either of you give us a little bit of depth in what you are actually doing in the areas of, one of the things that was mentioned was providing aid to those who are afflicted with autism. Another was in prosthetics, where you're developing devices, I guess, to assist those who are physically handicapped. You guys are it. It's where it's all coming from. Anything to tell us about that?
So our outreach efforts are all in the name of helping the people around us, uplifting our community through the skills that we learn within first. So that would be, for example, helping the individual with ALS. We do a lot of mentorship, attempting to help foster that STEM on a personal level, that STEM passion on a personal level. So we've started clubs around Florida. Unfortunately, right now, there are 0 public school FLL or FTC teams. There is 1 public school FRC team, and that is at Dunbar High School, so good for them. And so our advocacy efforts and our mentorship efforts are all in the name of remedying that issue, since, like we said, this is such a core opportunity for workforce development, and it is so important that we engage these kids at these young ages so that they stay engaged on into STEM careers. So that is one way. There are more, like you said, practical ways of helping them, such as the individual that we're helping. We created a device that helps him move his arms up and down, and that is through voice control. We also are helping start a team for lower socioeconomic kids from lower backgrounds. And so we're working with the Q Quality of Life Center to do that. And that is starting one of all levels, hopefully. And that will give kids who may not have that opportunity. For instance, one of them, her family does not have a car, so she takes a bus for like 2 hours to get to the YMCA where she volunteers. So it's giving kids like that opportunities. We're providing them a workspace, we're providing them the funding, we're providing them the materials, etc. And so all of our outreach and all of really our work in general is in the name of uplifting our community.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. And Warren, Holly had a question up front here. First Holly. Yep. Right behind you.
That Holly. Okay.
That Holly.
Who's looking
I am so impressed with the two of you. We are very, very fortunate to have this mind power in this room. Absolutely incredible. And I look back at we were just chatting about our high school and college, and it's like, whoa, we need to go back and start over. This is for Mr. Sharma. You were talking, of course, I honed right in on your congressional app challenge. Is that an active app that's serviceable right now? Is it just for the state of Florida? Is it for all over for disasters? And could you tell us a little bit more about that? Because I'm sure we would all be very interested to hear.
Of course. So the app that I created was right after Hurricane Ian. So my inspiration to the app is I identified two types of communities after the hurricane: people who were able to offer help, and then people who were in need of the help. But because the landlines were down, there was no cell communication. So those two groups had difficulty finding each other. So it was an app that uses radio, so you don't need the cell towers to be functioning to communicate. So it helps connect bridge the gap between the two groups, so offer assistance to people in need during a natural disaster. And the app is called AID. It's not currently on the App Store. I took it down shortly after releasing it, but the app is functioning, and it uses attachment to your phone to basically communicate without the cell towers being up.
Great. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Do you have another comment? Are you good?
I just wanted to close to say that you've just seen kind of one corner of the STEM community, right? And I talked a little bit at the beginning of this is an ecosystem of opportunity. And so I hope what we can kind of all take away is hearing a little bit about this one little piece. The great news is STEM is everywhere, right? We've developed programs around chemistry programs around baking and physics programs around golf. So there's kind of a place for everyone to kind of see how you can get involved or how this works in your world and how it can benefit students like these and therefore kind of come back in that feedback loop. So one more round of applause
Great.
for
Absolutely.
our panel. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you to the panel. I'm sure they're going to stick around a little bit after, so if you've got additional questions. We have member input, so if there's anything a member would like to share before we adjourn. Any, right?
It's been 12 years, but the FGCU softball team made it to the NCAA, and they are playing today at noon, and they're playing UF, but they beat them before, so go Eagles, right?
Great. Any other member input?
On topic, and coincidentally, I'm sure most of us saw an article, I think it was News Press yesterday, where there's a young operator. You guys really need to be on top of this one. There's a young operator sitting in a control room in Fort Myers, and he is the sole operator of heavy equipment, excavators, and large, these massive dump trucks that are doing a development project in Naples. And the site is completely autonomous. There's nobody running anything except there's one guy sitting in a control room in Fort Myers. I'm sure that some of what you're doing is creeping into that, or certainly will be, but I just thought it was timely and topical, so I thought I'd bring it up.
All right. Well, thank you so much. This is the last question over here, and then we'll move on.
It's not a question, but I just wanted to alert everybody here. My name is Megan Baskin. I run the Southwest Florida Leadership Institute at FGCU, as well as representing Leadership Next. And this summer, we're putting on a free workshop series for anybody in the Tri-County region funded by the Equitable Jobs Pipeline Grant on workplace equity. So we're putting on a free series June 14th and July 26th. Anybody can attend, and it's all put on by faculty at FGCU or other Florida schools. Gender equity, ageism, AI accessibility across the workforce. So all kinds of really great programs. So I encourage you guys to look into attending.
Great. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Well, with that, just next Horizon Council meeting is on June 28th. Remember the day of the stadium on the 27th. Meeting adjourned. Okay. Thank you all.